Are you auditioning for the part of Dakota? Do you have any acting experience? How old are you? Are you gay? I've been in LA for about 3 years. I was 23, and even though I had no formal acting experience, I was auditioning often. I found myself in front of these casting directors reading dialogue like I was reading the English language for the very first time. Yes, I was bad, like really, really bad, and nobody told me I was really, really bad. This particular audition was for a stage reading being performed in a church. Ironically, the name of the screenplay was Afternoon in Hell, working title. I could feel God's mighty side eye glaring down upon me from the heavens. Sorry, God. The writer/director had an oily comb over, a pale complexion, an accent I could not place, and a curled beeswax mustache. Now, it is of my humble opinion that only one person should ever sport a curled beeswax mustache. Mr. Pringle. Anyone else, fuck off. Are you auditioning for the part of Dakota? Do you have any acting experience? How old are you? Are you gay? Oh, yes, 23, yes. Darling, Dakota is supposed to be 17. You are too old. Only in Hollywood can one feel over the hill at the age of 23. Can you at least shave your face? Dakota does not have any of these hairs of the face. Sure, I said, I'll shave. Great! Are you comfortable performing in the nude? Wait, what, isn't this, hold on, isn't this a stage reading? Of course, but we're doing full costumes. Nudity is a costume, I replied. You know what I mean, little Mr. Smarty Pants. Come on, take it off. No, I'm not comfortable with nudity. Okay, Mother Teresa. A pair of sexy tidy white is then also rude. At that very moment, a red flag sprouted from the ground, holding another red flag. And that red flag was holding another red flag. And that red flag was holding another red flag into infinity. What exactly is this script about? This is a movie about Dakota, a beautiful Native American street hustler who falls madly in love with one of his chums because this chum has shown him true kindness. It is drama. I read a few lines of dialogue figuring that I wouldn't get the part, because I never got the part. I totally got the part. He said, you totally got the part. The next day was the first rehearsal, the only rehearsal, and oh yes, the day of the show. The director kept stopping me saying, Dakota, I cannot hear you. I kept getting louder and louder, but I guess it just wasn't good enough because he stood up and exclaimed, stop! Dakota, I want you to cross center stage, break the fourth wall, and scream into the audience, welcome to an afternoon in hell! No, I replied. Dakota, I'm not married to my ideas. Just try it, please. I did as instructed, and it felt dumb, and it probably looked dumb, and I knew he knew it felt and looked dumb. He stepped on stage and said, I have goosebumps, please. It stays in the show. He then bestowed upon me several more nuggets of directorial advice. Dakota, do scene 5 with your back to the audience facing the wall, okay? Oh, and Dakota, scene 10, when lights come up, I want you to be rubbing your buttocks while saying the line, oh, my ass is bleeding, okay? Oh, and Dakota, at scene 12, I want you to be doing Native American tribal dance, okay? When I asked what a Native American tribal dance looked like, he snorted, darling, you actor, not I, figure it out! Rehearsal was so discombobulated that we never got through the whole script. I was starting to get nervous. Minutes before curtain, I made the mistake of asking a fellow actor, hey, do you think I'm any good? He said, you want to know the truth, man? I nodded, which of course meant please lie to me. Truth is, Dakota's a caged animal, wild. At least that's how the other actor was doing it. other actor, I replied. Oh, you didn't know? The actor they really wanted dropped out last minute. He couldn't handle the heaviness of the piece. I began to panic. Someone dropped out of this shit show, and I was plan B, and to add insult to injury, I was getting acting pointers from the guy playing Hustler number 3. It was farcical. I smiled and said, thanks for the tip. And don't worry, I will be unleashing my caged animal. I then looked into the makeup mirror and invoked the spirits of Miss Nomi Malone, Miss Neely O'Hara, and every character ever played by Miss Faye Dunaway. I knew at that moment that in order to make my performance everything it needed to me, all I had to do was take the director's notes. Times 10. I won my first victory in scene number 3, in which a disgruntled John pushes my character. I set my script down, took a deep breath, and fell gracefully to the ground while saying my line with a tinge of Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. You hit me. Uproarious laughter ensued, and it was smooth sailing after that. My scene facing the wall killed. They cackled heartily as I rubbed my behind and spoke the line, my ass is bleeding. They fell out of their chairs during my Native American dance, which I interpreted as a seductive voguing, ending with the Karate Kid's crane pose. But my proudest moment was when I broke character, walked into the audience and screamed, welcome to an afternoon in hell! However, the comedic highlight of the evening did not come from me, no. It came from the fragile older actress playing Dakota's mother. She was only in the last scene, Dakota's death scene, a scene we never rehearsed. Nobody told me she was entering in a wheelchair. Nobody told me she was wearing a $5 fright wig, and nobody told me she was doing that voice. Dakota, it's me, Mama! The audience lost their shit. And even though Dakota was supposed to be dying of AIDS, he also lost his shit. I'm sorry, I couldn't handle this. This actress, so unremarkable, had gone rogue. Bitch was a stunt queen. She shook and moaned, then stood up out of her wheelchair and hobbled center stage. Then in a flash of improvisational genius, stole the show by ad-libbing the last line. It's a miracle. I can walk again.